Welcome back to the Zero Podcast, where we talk about lifting, coaching, and more. You can learn more about Zero by going to www.zero.com.au. That's Zero with a W. We are also proudly sponsored by Establishment Coffee. Head to establishmentcoffee.com.au. Use the code 025 for 25% off and free shipping. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what all the cool kids say. And if you're on Spotify, hit that 5-star review. We love it. Enjoy the show now.
It's been a while since we've had us four on the podcast.
Yeah, it has, hey.
Yeah, gotta stop saying Zero Weakness. The brand is Zero.
The Zero Weakness Podcast.
No.
Haven't we always said the Zero Weakness Podcast?
It's the Zero Podcast.
I'm pretty sure when I put it on Spotify, it's the Zero Weakness Podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's always made me angry.
You can't change it either. Well, I call it the Zero Dub Podcast.
Zero dub.
Right. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm done. I am out of here.
Nah, what have you guys been up to? CJ.
I'm finding a quote.
What have I been up to? Well, last couple of days I've been just sick as a dog.
Everyone's
Have
been sick.
you?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
See, I'm planning my... See, I'm holding off.
Yeah,
For
it's
nationals?
like
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that should have been the play. No, I've had like a cough for a while, but then the last couple of days, that's when I got really flu-y symptoms, like real body aches and stuff, which I haven't had in like years.
Yeah.
Well, since having COVID. So it's been many years since I've had like body aches. And so it sucks because usually I can just train through it, but this I can't really, which isn't fun.
Yeah, wow. Oscar was saying that his kids have got something similar as well. Everyone's just getting sick.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is.
Yeah, Southside had it bad. Daniel was sick as a dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Poor guy. At least we're all getting sick now.
Yeah.
Not for nationals.
Well, I'm hoping mine's for nationals, so I can let down all of my clients.
Same. Same, so I don't have to move the gym.
Yeah.
Wait, are we moving this gym or
Nah, Southside.
Southside?
Yeah, Southside and a little bit of stuff from Brisbane.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. We got we'd gotten custom like toasters and platform for Zero Pro last year, and remember there was a typhoon, and so the shipment got delayed, and so it arrived like 3 days after the comp. So it's just been sitting there brand new at Brisbane in the storage area waiting for this comp. So now we get to finally bust it out.
That's so cool.
Have you guys checked to make sure it isn't damaged from the typhoon?
No, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that you get it open and it's all rusted and...
Yeah. No, it'll be sweet.
Nice.
It'll be sweet.
What have you been up to, Bridget?
Me, I've been getting back into training again.
Yeah, sorry, I need to write your program.
Oh, no, that's all right. I've just been doing my own thing.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's been good. My strength is returning this week. Everything's starting to feel a lot better. And, yeah, hopefully we keep on moving upwards, but we'll see.
She wants to do a squat sessions with you again.
Yeah, we'll do it on Monday.
Nice.
Yeah. Easy.
Thanks, James.
What about you, James? What have you been up to?
Nothing. Just same old. I've got, I think, 9 or 10 athletes competing at nationals.
Yep.
Exciting.
So it's getting to the nitty-gritty into things. So it's pretty fun. I've just been doing my own training, lifting weights 3-4 times a week, and doing a bit of jiu-jitsu as well.
Yep.
Got Queensland States coming up. So I'm excited for that. So I'm, you know how I do it. I don't monitor my weight until it's too late. So
Yep,
yeah,
perfect.
but, tracking my weight now, which is good.
Brisbane's at like a month and a bit away?
What-
5 weeks?
What date is it?
Fuck, I can't remember.
I think it's like around the 12th of July.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Nice. Well, hopefully, where is it?
Carrara.
Well, hopefully we're around so we can go watch.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice. We need to organize. You know the team champs at nationals. We need to organize a Zero team.
Yeah.
We just got to get the people with the highest dots and throw them together. We came second last year.
Yeah. Half of my clients have already made their own team.
Who did we lose against last year? Was it
The dogs, eh?
was it Kale Rouston's team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Strong Fast Fit and Kale Rouston.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys won, and the top 3 teams were separated by just like a few points as well.
Really?
Yeah, that was cool.
close.
That was really cool.
So hopefully we get something like that again this year.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of new faces. There's a lot of new people that are really strong coming through. So in our team, if Jacob Tapp's not already spoken for, we'll chuck him in there because he's going to go really well.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a great prep.
Oh, we'll chuck. Who else?
How many per team? 4?
4, and it's got to have at least 2 females.
Mm-hmm.
So Kelly Batterham, if she's not in like a team Strong Geelong just yet. We should probably discuss this after the podcast.
Yeah.
All good. What have I been up to? I don't know. Gym stuff.
Yeah.
That's about it. There's been a lot of like big fires going on in the background that nobody ever gets to see. So it's been a challenging month or so. But we're getting over some hurdles. New Zealand has by far been the most difficult gym ever to open.
More difficult than Wales?
Yeah.
Really?
And
Wow.
Wales was a nightmare. So it kind of puts it into perspective. We officially announced yesterday just the foundation, the email list to build the foundation membership. So we're making some headway. We're getting closer. I just still don't have a confirmed date yet. There's just still some stuff we have to work through before we can announce that. And all our new equipment is meant to land next week. It never lands on time, so it won't be next week. But with that is going to be all the stuff for Sunshine Coast. So Sunshine Coast will be open in the next month as well, which is cool, but also kind of scary. I
That's
feel
exciting.
very underprepared for it.
Lem and Paris went there this week sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I went up there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is the first time. I've been there twice, so this is the second time I've been. But since last time, they've changed stuff around quite a bit because they've got half the equipment sitting there. So
Yeah.
they've set up a bunch of combo racks and monolift and bench press and leg press. And a
Is
few
all the
machines.
flooring going to be gym mats? Because,
Yes.
yeah, Lem and Paris were saying there was different styles of flooring.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So we have to redo all the flooring, and it's a different kind of flooring. Did I speak about this
You
in
said
the
the
other week?
heavier mats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you want me to go down there? Because I'd love to do that.
Yeah, nah, bro. I'll give you the day off.
He's going to be sick anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be a nightmare and a half to lay, but once it's down, it's down.
Yeah, because you said that it won't move around, eh?
No, and it should be really resilient. When we try and move stuff around, it gets caught up in the mats. It shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And you said they connect, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's way thicker and way denser, and exactly that. So when it gets cold and hot, the mats contract and expand. That's why we lay it with no gaps, and now there's heaps of gaps. And the gaps get real dusty, and you can't really vacuum in there. It's just not strong enough
Oh,
to
the
pick it
new
up.
vacuum can.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah.
Don't tell them that.
Why? I want to keep it. Do
No,
we get to keep it?
Well, yeah, we can keep it. I'll just buy another one. Those ones are cheap.
Yeah. No, it's a great vacuum.
Yeah, super cheap.
What vacuum is this?
The big one that's sitting next to the doorway.
If there's any vacuum connoisseurs out there.
Is it still a Dyson?
No.
No.
It's
It's like a
what's the brand?
Road.
Starts with
Yeah, just
R.
a Ryobi.
Ryobi.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just a wet dry one from Bunnings.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
good.
Only a couple $100.
Fits
Okay.
under the machines and stuff.
Oh, but it's
Yeah.
not battery powered. It's not its
Yeah,
own.
that's the only thing. You just got to have
Okay.
an extension cord and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Move it around with you.
Yeah, the Dysons are all right, but they're just not made for this kind of environment.
Yeah.
It's like too big a floor space and too many hazards.
Yeah.
And by the looks of it, you guys just kind of have like sword fights and stuff with it because it's fucked. I don't know how it breaks as often as it breaks here, but you guys just must be like, oh, I can't clean this. I'll just whack it and
sword fights with it.
on guard. No, they're just not made for a gym. Just not made for a gym. I'm toying with the idea in future gyms of the flooring we have as top of the platforms. Or think of the grey one that's under the platforms that's much denser. I'm thinking of making that as gym flooring instead of the mats.
Oh, yeah.
It looks a lot nicer. I'm just scared because I've never done it before.
Have you noticed it's quite it would be quite slippery?
It would be, but I wouldn't use it like it would be. It would be under up here under machines, so to the point where the slipperiness wouldn't actually matter that much.
Yeah.
Because then platform, you'd put platforms under combos and stuff, and have thicker mats under the dumbbell area. That's how traveling around. That's how most big fancy gyms do it these days, and it looks nice. But I just can't imagine. I imagine it must be quite hard to actually get it to look nice.
Are there any? Oh yeah, I forgot to ask. While you're overseas, were there any gyms that gave you inspiration?
Yeah, lots.
Yeah. Any in particular?
The one I was talking about that Sean Noriega trains at, that one in Dallas, was unreal. We spoke about it on the podcast.
Yeah. Is that the black and green one?
No,
Black
no.
with the green lighting?
So that one's called Fusion fusion gyms, and it's a chain. There's 4 or 5 of them, and it's all Chinese equipment. So they've just gone ham on it, like.
So they got heaps of stuff.
Just a stupid amount of equipment.
Yeah, that's
cool. Like 5 pairs of every dumbbell. So the dumbbell rack is like as long as this gym kind of thing.
Yeah, wow.
And then like 30 power racks, 2 rows of 15. It's just really overkill, but crazy and kind of cool.
Yeah, I was just going to say that would be cool.
But yeah, the inspiration I took away is like how much energy and effort, and I guess it's a sign of the times in terms of social media, how much energy and effort goes into the aesthetic of the places. Like crazy tiling, very elaborate tile work and very elaborate lighting and signage. Like they're dropping an enormous amount of money. The bathrooms as well, just incredible bathrooms. It's one thing that, it's such a huge cost, adds value, but also at the same time is such a waste of money. With the limited budget that I have, I'd rather put that money into equipment.
Yeah, for sure. There's a gym called, you should watch it, you'd like it. There's a gym called Art of Jiu-Jitsu, and it's literally like a state-of-the-art facility.
Oh, is that the white gym?
Yeah, and it's so clean, so aesthetically pleasing. Like you said, they've just put all their money into the bathrooms, like little pieces that, doesn't actually do anything but looks cool on social media and for marketing, things like that.
Yeah.
And the lighting up the top.
Do you know what's getting played out at the moment? Those Hex lights.
Oh, like the fucking beehive kind of lights.
Yeah, like every kind of boutique kind of
Yeah.
training facility starting to do them.
What are hex lights?
Like what Thomas said, they look like a beehive kind of. They look like a honeycomb.
Yeah.
It's just a tessellated like hexagon pattern.
Yeah.
Honeycomb is that's what I was thinking.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have to look it up.
I think where people go wrong with it is that kind of LED powerful lighting is designed to hang from a high ceiling like 5 meters above what it's supposed to be lighting, and people do things like put it on a ceiling this high, and it's actually quite
bright.
It's a bit too in your face.
Is that the same as the headlights they have in some of those big trucks? Is it LED lights and they blind you when it's in your rear view?
They're like, how some places have like hanging LED strips that they're just like bars, but they're just shaped in hexagons.
Yeah.
It's just nice lighting for like posing.
Oh,
It makes you look really jacked.
Yeah.
But it's very harsh.
It is one thing that I don't care about that much, lighting stuff, but it is very important to a lot of people who come to gyms.
I like dark gyms.
So, it's something as Zero grows and gets bigger and has a greater budget, I'd like to sink more money into the aesthetic. But I always wonder, like some people actually dislike things being that. People feel like it's a little bit more homely when it's a little bit used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's always interesting hearing the comments of people going to Cairns or Brisbane versus training here. Like Rick, for example, is like, yeah, I've been to Brisbane. It felt like a hospital.
Yeah, everything's like super clean.
clinical.
Yeah, it was super shiny, everything's white, and it was super clean, which I like. Obviously that's by design. But when he's used to training here, which is just, this gym is just more used than any of the other gyms. It's the equipment tends to be the oldest. We've had more frequent use. Stuff gets beat up in competitions. It just looks more used.
Well, we get more foot traffic than any other gym.
And so, some people just appreciate the usedness of it.
Yeah.
Like when I say foot traffic, I mean like comps and that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it does get beat up. But yeah. What are you guys grateful for?
CJ, what you got?
I'm not ready.
Okay, Bridget, you breathe.
It's my mum's birthday today,
Oh,
and
happy
I'm
birthday,
grateful
Mum.
for my mum. She's the sweetest human being on the planet, and I love her so much, and I can't wait to see her. Happy birthday, Mum.
Happy birthday, Bridget's mum.
I am grateful for... fuck. I had this too. Tom, bro, you go.
I got nothing.
I'm grateful for the weather. I
Nice.
loved how suddenly like cold it got,
Yes.
even though it's given me the worst flu. But it's so awesome. It's so weird. Like I like walk around like the shops and stuff and be like, I haven't broken a sweat.
How good is it? You can stay in the sun for ages.
I know, and I don't break a sweat anymore.
So nice.
So yeah, I do really like it.
Sleep is so much better when it's
Oh
cold
my
as well.
gosh.
Mm.
Yes, it is.
I'm still using aircon at my place.
Well,
Which
I was
is
gonna
annoying.
say
My
it's
apartment
not
stays
that
really
cold yet.
warm. My apartment gets like the morning sun as well,
Oh, okay.
and it just heats up the whole apartment, and then it stays warm all day, which is
Oh.
good. But I kind of like being cold sometimes.
Mm.
Yeah, cold is nice.
Mm.
We just don't get the chance to do it much here.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for. This sounds. I'm grateful for like my Sundays. Sundays are like my slowest day, and I don't
Sundays are
really
the
have
best.
anything planned. Me and Bridget walk poots around the Coomera Oxenford Lake,
So nice.
and just I like it. Just a slower pace.
That's far from you guys, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's we
yeah,
love
we
that walk.
go
yeah.
to
Bear
Bear
Boy.
Boy Espresso and get a coffee, and then we go to the lake.
Is
and
it,
then
is
take
it,
him
is
down
that
to
a
the
good
dog
cafe?
Yeah,
Bear Boy,
really
it's
good.
the
Okay.
best.
Have you been there, Tom, bro?
No.
Meg will love it. She'll froth.
Yeah.
All right,
They-
I need to try it.
I think they go there because that's where the Zero Run Club is.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they would go. Yeah.
I think that's where they meet up.
Bear Boy Cafe. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
near your
in-
place, CJ.
Well, I live in Coomera, and
Yeah.
I've never really found good spots. Like my whole life
Mm.
has always been south of the coast.
Do you know where it is? You know where you
No.
got that like the Hope Island exit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got like a Good Guys and like all that,
Yeah,
all those
yeah,
shops
yeah.
in there. It's in there, but down the end near the Guzmani Gomez,
Oh,
right
okay.
down the end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, that's what I'm grateful for because every day I'm doing something. Like if I start work at 6 or 7, then I'll train, then I'll walk poots, then I'll go straight to jiu-jitsu, and then I get home at like 8 o'clock. So I don't really get to. That's my choice.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't really have any slow days.
Sundays are chill. I love Sundays.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah,
off
yeah.
my phone a little more on a Sunday. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
don't take our phones on the walk. It's good.
I'm going to play one of CJ's cards. I'm going to say I'm grateful for my friends.
Nice.
I've got some good people around me, and like I said, there's been some fires to put out lately, and I very rarely feel like I need to lean on anyone, and I really don't talk to anyone about anything ever. But it's been nice to bounce ideas off of people and get feedback and input off of people that I trust. You know, sometimes you just need that external validation.
Mm-hmm.
It's been nice to get that.
Yeah, nice.
All right, quotes. I'll go first because I want to turn my phone off and it's still on. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge.
Ooh.
I like that.
Wow.
Don't be quick to judge. See things from everyone's perspective.
Mine's for my mum. Again, I posted this on my story this morning, but it says, "My life began with waking up and loving your face."
That's
Nice.
cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is train hard, fight easy.
Hey.
It was actually a quote by a Russian general called Alexander Suvorov, and it just meant you train harder and combat's easier. And I think it's really good. It's really cool. Like it's applicable to training, and
Well, yeah, I was just thinking that transfers over to
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu for you.
yeah, you train really hard and it makes the fight easier.
Yeah.
Like just for example, Boyd's been doing, lots of conditioning at the moment
Mm-hmm.
and some strength training, but it's all going to pay off because it's going to make those 45-second runs feel like nothing at the X Games.
Big time.
And he knows it too, so it's good.
He's an athlete, hey.
He's a proper athlete.
Yeah.
Nice. Mine's another Hormozy quote. It says, list all the things that you're not willing to give up to achieve your dreams, and that's the person that will beat you every time.
Nice.
That is nice. I like that.
It's full of gold, that man.
He is.
All right. Got a few things to talk about. Tom, bro, you can pick what you want to talk about first. APL Nationals, do we need to talk any more about it?
Yeah, we can.
Because this will be the third Nationals. The third
Third nationals since Daniel's had it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had the first one was at where was that?
Gold Coast, Novotel.
Novotel Hotel. Lots of lessons learnt from that one. The second one was Multicultural Centre last year. That was awesome, and then it's at the Multicultural Centre again.
Yes.
So this will be our third competition held there,
correct.
and they just get better every time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so this one, nationals last year, the format of the warm-up room we changed then for the Zero Pro, and it was much nicer. So same thing for this competition. It's going to be that like giant platform instead of 3 separate platforms, where squat, bench, deadlift all happens on the one platform. which makes it so much easier to navigate that small space.
Yeah, you're not tripping over stuff.
Yeah. And I can't remember, but I think Daniel has done 13 lifter flights for the most part. So not quite 15. Like the max is 15. And if you go 13, it's just, if two people have two handlers and then maybe, the straggler that sort of just hangs around, it's just a couple less bodies to make it a little bit nicer back there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also makes the comp a bit more efficient, just rolls it through so we don't have, you think, if we're doing 5 flights a day or 6 flights a day, if it's 6 flights a day, that's 12 extra people. That's the equivalent of doing a whole nother flight.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you're doing these big comps how you sort of have to account for every second of time to make the day. This is the difference between the comps that you say, I finished at 6 o'clock versus, they're still lifting and it's 9 p.m. It only takes a few seconds here or there to drag out the entire day. So I think it's going to be a really good competition. I think, we get better at these things every time as a team. We know what to expect a bit more. Stress dies down a little bit more. We've ramped it up this year in terms of just like better quality. We understand how to do a better live feed. We've invested in external internet so we don't have to rely on the venue's terrible internet, which is what
so
really
good.
killed the live feed the last couple of times. So, yeah, I think it's going to be heaps good.
And what was the decision to make it across 4 days as opposed to 3? Was that
Demand.
just
Wasn't that the
Yeah,
people's
okay.
decision?
Yeah, demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm big on, from an advisory perspective, Daniel makes all the decisions. I just sort of chime in when he wants me to. I'm really big on, if you don't know how to best serve the people, ask the people what they want. Just go with the majority. So that was a majority decision by the APL members.
That's
Is
really
the
cool.
smoke machine coming back?
Of course.
Nice.
What kind of question is that?
Nice.
Absolutely. Are
How
you guys
good.
excited? Pumped for it?
Very,
really
always.
excited.
Always love nationals and the Zero Pro.
How many people do you have doing it, Bridget?
I've got 2. I've got Shani and Sue Harris.
Yeah, nice.
Mhm.
Nice. And you said you had about 10.
Yeah, 8, 9 or 10, I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
I got like 4 girls in the 67s, 1 in the 75s, 2 boys in the 100s, one boy 66. I got heaps.
So good.
Yeah. And they're all doing really well at the moment, so it's really cool to see.
Yeah. Same. We've got Andrew and Kelly and, by extension, Jacob Tapp.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be cool. Zero's going to have a big team. Then, of course, we've got people from Brisbane, Southside, Cairns, Mackay, everywhere. It's been great.
Amazing.
It's crazy to think, just for example, people like Mark Carino, Vinny and Josh Honke, they're going to blow their performance out of the water from the last comp they just did, which was only what?
What they do, States?
Yeah.
Or Christmas Cup?
States.
Did Vinny do States? He did Christmas Cup, didn't he?
Vinny did Christmas Cup, sorry. No, wait.
Yeah, Vinny.
No, Vinny did the same comp as Gardner.
So that was States.
Yeah, States.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's crazy to think that some of these people that did States are going to open on...
Is Gardner doing it?
Yep.
Oh,
And he's
awesome.
killing it. He just sent me his... So this week he's been...
He's got to go on the team.
Yeah.
I was thinking Gardner, but I wasn't sure if he was doing nationals.
Oh, no, he's on another team.
I'll tell him to kick
Is
himself
he?
off
I'm joking.
on Team Fiji. Imagine if he joined Team Nauru and dogged us.
No, he wouldn't, bro. He wants a Broncos head.
He wants Broncos.
But yeah, he squatted 300 for doubles this week, deadlifted 300 for doubles,
Man, he's strong.
benched 160 for doubles. Those numbers there alone, like before our first competition together, they weren't even his best numbers at his previous comp.
Yeah, wow.
Wait, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Bronco coming over?
I'm not sure.
Nationals?
Yep. He's in one of the flights.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
that's cool.
Does Gardner have access to a deadlift bar?
No,
I wonder how much of an impact that makes to him.
not really. Not
He doesn't really notice.
Nah,
it.
because I thought maybe the same.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, we'll just keep the numbers the exact same.
Yeah.
I think by deadlifts he's a little bit gassed out anyway.
But I think it's interesting as well because like he's so used to competing in the poorest conditions that little things like that are just normal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the equipment's different than it was in training. Well, it always is.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It's not a surprise.
He benches on like quite a skinny bench as well.
Yeah.
And he's fucking jacked, so he's
Yeah,
huge. No, he's gonna do really well. Hopefully get that 800 kilo total.
Yeah, nice.
Mm.
Nice. No, it's going to be a really, really exciting comp. Can't wait. All right. What are your tips for powerlifters that want to get into running?
Oh, yeah. So that's what I want to talk about.
Obviously, I have nothing to offer. So
Yeah, neither.
there's so many
Saw
people,
you.
that are like dipping their toes in the water. Well, first things first, what's your opinion on it? You know how everyone's getting vocal about it, about like, oh, that's not a hybrid athlete. Like everyone's like, shut up.
I just
If
say let
people want to
people do what
run,
they
just
want.
let them run.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
yeah.
Well, that's what, I don't know if you saw a while ago. I put up a story saying that.
Yeah.
I was like, who? Like, because some of my friends that are runners, like, they'll not, like, you know, they'll be like, oh, I've been running. I've been doing this. And it's like, bro, you've been doing it for 2 years. Relax.
Think of it, if it was the other way around and they were getting into powerlifting, would you like bash them for it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Anyway,
it's
sorry.
weird that it's just like this hybrid stuff because like you know there was that mass exodus of lifters going to jiu-jitsu. No one was ever like, oh, you're doing jiu-jitsu. Oh, duh. But everyone's just bashing people for running. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah. I'm on the same boat as you. It's like, let them do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's, as long as they're training and enjoying
Yeah.
themselves.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always encourage people trying to get better at something that you know, skill they're not very good at. So I think it's really cool that lots of power. It's funny though because there's lots of power lifters getting into running.
Yeah. Where does it come from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. But here's what I don't like. I don't like the term hybrid athlete, but it's only a term, so it doesn't actually upset me.
Sure.
Like it's just language. Like it's not.
Sure.
But do you know when people are, I'm a hybrid athlete because I lift weights and I run? It's like,
So, no, you just
What every footy player does.
you're just doing
Yeah.
one more activity than you were doing before.
yeah. If by that logic, like, you know, like Paris is a hybrid athlete.
Yeah.
She's played footy and powerlifted her whole life together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's where I would consider a hybrid athlete to actually hold bearing. Is like, are you competitive in multiple things?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Paris actually is a hybrid athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
If
Like,
you want to call it or just an athlete.
Yeah.
like I walk every morning. I'm not a hybrid athlete because I do some walking. I'm
Yeah.
just going for a walk, and it's the same thing with running. Unless you're actively like competing in marathons or triathlons or whatever,
Yeah.
can you really consider yourself a hybrid athlete? But anyway, who cares?
Yeah. But yeah, so there's a massive influx of powerlifters and lots from this gym, which is really cool, getting into running. So I just wanted to share some tips because I feel like I have the same conversation every day with people. I like having these conversations as well, so it doesn't actually bother me.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got 3 tips for powerlifters that are getting into running. The first tip being get some appropriate footwear.
Mm-hmm.
That'll change your whole running experience. It's like most people that get into running, what they're doing is they're just running in the shoes that they already own. That have already, I'm guessing they wear them every day of the week. They've already got lots of kilometers logged in them through just general wear. So get a pair of shoes that are specifically designed just for running and only wear them for your runs.
It's the equivalent of coming to the gym in like your fucking cross trainers and us being like, no, let's get them off.
Yeah.
Like let's train in proper footwear so you can get the most out of your squats and deadlifts. Right?
Yeah, you don't walk around in your notorious lifts all day and then come in and deadlift in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, get a pair of good running shoes.
How
And-
does one find a pair of good running shoes?
Well, I've got some good recommendations, but what lots of people have been doing is they go straight to the Vaporfly or the Alphafly, which is a race shoe.
Okay.
So if you get a carbon plated shoe, it's going to ruin your running experience.
Because you said it really beats up your feet and is hard to use at first, right?
Yeah, really beats up your feet. So when I was like prepping for a race, I would only wear those shoes on like my hard, short, fast sessions, like tempo work, like maybe like, you know, where you're doing 10 kilometers max. And I'd only wear them once a week, if that. And then towards the back end of prep, you know, when things get harder, things get a little bit more specific for your race simulations, then you wear them a little bit more frequently. But even for those sessions, we do our warm-ups in our normal shoes. So we do our 5 kilometer warm-up in our Hokas or whatever shoes we wear for easy kilometers, and then we'd put on the race shoes for the race sim. Yeah, because
It's tongue singing.
those shoes are only designed to actually last about 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers.
The special carbon ones.
Yeah. So if you want to get a,
Both pull their phones.
can we please bring up the other camera, CJ? See another camera so you can see our buddy. So yeah, like get a good pair of shoes. Just some recommendations right now, so you don't have to do any further research. Hoka make a really good easy kilometer shoe, like an easy K shoe, something that's really cushioned. they are slower, but if you're just getting into running, it doesn't matter. You're not trying to run fast. You're just trying to, you know, have more frequent exposures, build some time on your legs. So there's a shoe called a Hoka Bondi. There's a Hoka Rincon, a Hoka Clifton. What do you have, Tom, bro? I think you got the Cliftons.
Don't know. Hoka Autism.
Oh my god,
That's what I've got.
What are my shoes? The ones that you
Nike Invincible. So that's my next suggestion.
Is there, you know, like the athlete's foot, for example, where you go get your... I'm assuming that's just marketing, like they incentivized to sell particular types of shoes. But is it valuable to go see or do something like that to find out what shoe might be best suited for you?
Yes, it actually is. Because me and Johnny actually did this a while ago. Because we're like, oh, let's go talk to them and see if they know what they're talking about. But yeah, obviously there is a little bit of a... At the end of the day, they are salesmen. Like, they need to sell shoes to keep their jobs and whatnot. So they are still going to try to sell you some kind of shoe, whatever. Like you said, what they're incentivized to sell. But they will give you like some insightful tips on what shoes you should wear for shorter runs and things like that.
Yeah.
So go do that. But then there's the Nike Invincibles, which are a really great shoe. Someone who wants something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, visually pleasing, might want a pair of them. In one of my pairs, I got 500 kilometers out of them. So they lasted, 500 Ks. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then there's, they'd be the two ones I'd recommend. So yeah, that's tip number one.
What should people expect to pay for those kind of shoes? $300?
Yeah, anywhere between 200 and 260.
I wonder if powerlifters like, what, $260 for a pair of shoes? Bro, you spend that on like
a belt,
Romalios or a belt, or if they're used to spending exorbitant amounts of money on products.
Yeah,
knee sleeves.
Yeah, and like, because when I think of a pair of shoes, they should last you about 500 kilometers. So for me, when I was running, that's like 3 months.
Yeah,
in one pair of shoes or whatever. That shouldn't scare you away if you're a powerlifter, because I guarantee you're not running.
I was going to say you were proper running. Like, what was your average week? 100 Ks?
Average week, like further out from race, would be like 60, 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you're running significantly more than the Zero Run Club.
Yeah. The shoes are going to last you a lot longer.
Yeah.
So that's my first tip.
How do you know when you need a new pair of shoes?
You just feel it.
Okay.
Yeah. But use, there's apps that are really good for tracking data. So Strava, that's where I log all my shoes.
Okay.
So I'd have all my shoes there, and after the run, once you like confirm the data, confirm the route, you add your photos, you can pick which shoes you wear. So it logs all your kilometers in your shoes.
Would you, after a while, do you go by feel or do you legit just go by the Ks?
I went by feel because I had a pair of shoes and I only put 333 kilometers in them, and I was saying, I need new shoes, and my friends were like, nah, you just want to buy new running shoes, like, because there were some cool ones that just came out, and they're trying to give me shit saying, no, you just want to buy the new ones. And then my housemate, he tried them on and goes, oh, these are fucked.
Because surely it depends on like how heavy you are, how your foot lands, like how externally or internally rotated your feet are.
Yeah, I'm not a very efficient runner either.
Yeah.
Like my hips and my ankles and parts don't move very well. So I kind of drag my feet, and I'm quite heavy for my size. So yeah, my shoes probably get a little bit more beat up than someone else.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, that's my first tip. Get a good pair of running shoes.
Sweet.
My second tip, you don't need a watch. A watch is great, but use something so you can track your progress.
If you don't have a watch, what do you use?
You can just use your phone and download the app Strava. Yeah. And it tracks everything on there.
How do people carry their phone when they run? What do you recommend? An armband, or is that like someone who wants to get beat up?
Yeah, it actually is.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, but if you do wear, it's hard because in your pocket it just flails around.
Yeah.
But most running shorts have a back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't really feel anything there.
Yeah.
Can I ask what's wrong with the armband?
It's the equivalent to
Like
Bridget,
wearing lifting gloves?
If you have to ask.
Yeah.
It's like saying what's wrong with rider-wear shoes.
Yeah.
You think that's funny
Well,
because
I mean,
I bought
like,
a pair once?
I told you, Bridget. Do you know Bridget had a pair?
Yeah. It's like, well, fundamentally, they do the job.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, do you really want to be seen? How many friends do you have? How many friends do you want to have?
Oh, man. Yeah, Bridget's got the Kai Green specials.
Nice.
I got rid of those.
That was so funny.
Nice. Well, it's funny because the Riderwear shoes are based off those Otomix shoes, which were like the actual hardcore bodybuilding shoes of choice. They just did them really poorly.
Do you know what's crazy? It was only like 7 years ago they were like popular.
Yeah.
They look like something that should have been from like the 80s, eh?
Yeah.
They look terrible.
What's wrong with the 80s?
No, I'm just meaning like the technology. Like, yeah.
Anyway.
80s fashion's cool.
So if someone was to get a watch, is like Apple Watch or Garmin's, are they adequate, or do they need to get like a special running watch?
I wouldn't get an Apple Watch just because of the battery life.
Sweet.
There is a new Apple Watch that's called the Apple Ultra. So it's got a longer battery life, but something like I've got the Garmin, I can't remember what one it is now. Vivo Active 4S, so I can put music on it. But this watch lasts me 7 days without having to charge it.
What's wrong with the Apple Watch? How long does it last?
12 hours.
Okay. So but that's adequate if it's charged, right?
Yeah, but if you're, so I can go for a run, track it, train at the gym. Like if you went for a run, no, I'm meaning 12 hours without any activity.
Oh, okay. So when you're running, it's obviously doing something the whole time, so it drains it really fast.
Yeah. Okay. So my watch, I can wear this the whole week.
Yep.
And it fully charges in about 30 minutes. Yeah, so Garmin's the way to go.
I know this is a really naive question, but do things like Fitbits sync to something like Strava?
Yeah, they do, but the only problem with something like a Fitbit is there's no watch face.
Yeah, okay.
So you can't actually see.
Look at it while you're going.
Yeah, like on this, you can even set it up to like give you alerts to stay in a certain zone and things like that.
Yeah,
yeah. I'd go Garmin for like the value of them too. So my watch was $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Where I don't know how much an Apple Watch goes for now, but pretty sure they're like
surely more than that.
Yeah, like $1,000.
At what point of seriousness would someone invest in a watch? Like. Someone comes in and they've got a supplement shop belt that might be comp legal, but it's just kind of a clapped out, nasty belt. And after a while, you're like, hey, you're actually a powerlifter. You should probably buy a proper belt or proper sleeves. When would you recommend someone's like, okay, I'll get a watch so I can actually track it properly while I'm running?
I reckon if you've committed to running multiple times a week, and you're like, so you've already set a base. You're like, okay. Or if you're prepping if you've got a race in mind.
Sure.
It will just make the whole process more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And easier to track.
Yeah. And what level of difference does it make to the quality of your training to have that data versus like just going out and running by feel, that term you use, like you should be able to talk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What level of difference do you think having the true data will actually make? I know that's a very open question.
No, it is, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, not much.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, this is kind of shitty answer, but it's good to have.
Yeah.
I don't know, and something for
because it's like training, right? You can train by feel and do all right.
Yeah.
But if you have the data, ultimately your training is going to be higher quality eventually.
100%.
And there's going to be a point where you need that data so you don't just plateau.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm making it sound like I know everything about running. I don't. And I wasn't very good at it either. I was just given my...
Yeah, but you're surrounded by people who are very good at it, and you hyper-focused on it for a long time and learned a lot. So don't discount the value that you have to offer.
Yeah, I did 3 races in between 2021 and 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just your experience as a runner. But your experience as to actually like looking into the programming and the technique and all the finer details, you go hard on that stuff.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I geek out at that. Yeah, so that's my second piece of advice.
Yeah.
My third piece of advice is load management. You see lots of people going out the gate really hot. And, they're only running 1 to 2 kilometers. It's like, they went out too fast. They've gassed out. They can't do anymore. Let's start by, it's like lifting. When you get into lifting, you don't just immediately go, fuck, all right, I'm going to try 100. It's like, no, you're going to try 60 kilos first. You're going to do that. You're going to build your way up to 100. Same thing with running. You want to start relatively low. You want to start by just building some time on your legs.
So this is an interesting one because I know that. Like if someone asks me, but I don't know shit about running, obviously. But if someone asks me about running, that's the kind of advice I'd give. But as someone who doesn't run ever, I would want to know, how does that look practically? Like how would you measure going too hard outside of, I've been going for 10 minutes and I'm absolutely cooked. Like how do you hold yourself back? What are some tips that people can use to hit the right zone if they don't all have the data tracking measures just yet? Is it the talking thing?
The talking one's the easiest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, do you like me using examples of myself?
For sure.
Okay, cool. Because I normally don't like using examples of myself when it comes to lifting and coaching or whatever. But like, if me and some of the boys did a 30-kilometer run, we'd be talking the entire time.
Yeah.
Socializing the entire time. So like for a long run, even just someone like Meg who's been getting into running, I'd always say aim for about, in between 7 to 8 minutes per kilometer to begin with. Eventually that's going to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
So even when I see people that are like, that was too easy. It was too easy. I was like, no, my friends run half marathons at, 350 per kilometer, 345, and their long runs are still 6 minutes per kilometer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one because I guarantee if me and CJ went for a run around the block, no matter how slow we went, we couldn't talk.
No.
Yeah, I was having the same conversation with Eli last night, and we said our pace for talking is literally a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eli wrecked Meg. She was looking at his Strava and was like, "Oh, you run so fast." And he's like, "What's your pace?" And she showed him. He's like, "I don't even think I could run that slow."
Oh, Meg.
Ruined.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so pace yourself. So then in terms of load management, what does that look like across the week? Can someone run every day? Should someone run every day?
Nah, not to begin with. That's when you're going to come across things like shin splints and you're just going to be fucking sore if you try to run every day.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. When I did the half marathon in 2022, I actually only did that on a 7-week prep. So I was powerlifting. And then I stopped and did that.
You're only running like twice a week, weren't you, as well?
I started off with just twice a week, yeah. And then in like the last 3-4 weeks, then I could ramp it up.
Yeah.
So like for the first 2 to 3 weeks, it was just exposure, time on my legs.
Sure.
So I try go for like a 20-minute. I'm lucky I already had a base because I
was going to say, you had been training hard at running for a little while and then stopped for a little while.
Yeah.
But you kind of maintained it, right?
Yes.
You're still doing like a run on a Saturday or something.
Yeah, and I was still playing heaps of basketball, and so I was still relatively fit. But it was just like an exposure thing. So I'd just go out for an easy run twice a week. Maybe a longer run on a Saturday, trying to build up. But it wasn't fast. It was the same thing, like conversation pace. And then over time, I might add another session in. You might add some tempo work and some speed work in, just to, get some experience at running with an elevated heart rate under harder conditions. But yeah, what was the question again? I kind of went on
Load management.
Yeah.
How does someone? Where's a good resource where someone can find out how to program themselves for running or follow some sort of a template?
Well, like it's funny because the principles are pretty similar to powerlifting.
Yeah.
Like any sport that involves a peak. That's the assumption that everyone wants to run in a race. But any sport that involves a peak where there's like maximal effort or, exertion required on a certain day, the principles remain the same where you start off relatively easy. And as you get closer to comp, you ramp up. Just as you're around the corner from comp, you need to taper off a little bit before you can peak really hard. But some good, can I give someone a plug?
Yeah.
Someone who coached me for a long time, who every time was Distance Athletica, Darwin Brooks. He's really good.
Is he on the coast?
He's in Sydney, but his brother's on the coast, and his brother wrote, who's one of my best friends. He wrote some programming for me as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that's John Brooks, right?
Yeah. There's heaps of really good. There's actually heaps of free running stuff on the Nike Run Club app, even on the Strava app. There's some free stuff on there.
Yeah.
I have a question. What about tips on technique, or is there? Is there somewhere? Someone can find.
Well, it's kind of the same as powerlifting, where some coaches are real heavy on technique, and then there's some coaches that don't give a shit about technique. It's the same thing about running. So one of my friends, David Ridley, who's like one of the best runners in Australia, he's sponsored by Nike, and he's an elite runner. I saw him put something up about like someone asked about technique, and he said, "Why the fuck would you need technique on something you've done your whole life?" I was like, fair enough. But then there's other coaches that are like, no, like your stride sucks. And do I think technique's important? I do, because I reckon if I had a more efficient technique, I would have been a better runner. Just because my hips are shit, my ankles are shit because of my Achilles, and I kind of drag my feet. I don't have a very long stride. Like you watch those Kenyans or like any elite athlete, and you look at their stride, and you know the way their heels pretty much touch their ass, and their hips are so extended, and you know it just looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment, because like it sounds like someone who's been good at it his whole life, kind of thing.
100%.
You know, like if you're good at it, automatically, genetically, whatever it is, you don't have to think about it as much.
Well, that's it. Like when he said, that's the first thing I thought. I'm like, nah, you've been like, because I went to school with them. You've been good at running since we were kids.
Yeah,
you've been really good at running.
Yeah, even the statement like, why the fuck would you have to worry about technique for something you've done your whole life? I haven't run my whole life. I've probably ran 3Ks total my whole life. You know, like I don't know how to run. So if I was getting into running, I'd want to know how to do it. But also I'm a technique guy. So
that's the same thing. It's like gym bros have been benching their whole life. Doesn't mean they're bench to the the standard that we'd want them to bench at. And when they come in here, ultimately we've transformed their technique. And
I'm sure you watch some people run, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm one of those people. There's been so many times where I'd like set up my camera, like when we'd be doing a speed sesh, and then I'd look at me and I'm like, what the fuck? Nah, I can't post that. And the one time I did post it, Dennis Savacki messaged me straight away and he goes, holy shit, you're stiff. And I was like, fuck, I'm deleting that right now. Because I knew it straight away when I watched it. I was like, fuck, you don't move very well.
What kind of things do people think about when they're running, technique-wise? Like where your hands are, where your arms are, what your shoulders are doing?
I don't know. How
your feet are hitting the floor. Like
one thing that is very common, and especially lots of muscle-bound people that get into running, they're very shruggy.
Bro, when we get stuck in the rain and I have to run like 500 meters, my shoulders are so sore after 500 meters.
Yeah.
And I have to keep telling myself, why are you touching your ears with your shoulders?
And that's the most common one.
Yeah.
With people that get into running.
Why does it even happen? I don't really understand.
Don't you want to be kind of like loose and relaxed?
Yeah. And then like people get a bicep pump as well because they're just so tense like this. And yeah.
So there's an episode of The Cosby Show where Bill Cosby used to, I probably shouldn't talk about Bill Cosby in a positive way, but he used to feature like famous people on The Cosby Show, like to send positive messages, especially like African Americans. And he had a famous African American runner, a female, and he references her cheeks bouncing up and down and that being a good thing. So whenever I run, and the only time I run is when I'm stuck in the rain, I try and relax my face and feel my cheeks. That's my technical approach.
That's a cool one because you know when you watch like the 100-meter sprinters, like when it's in slow-mo and they're all like that.
Yeah,
because they're so relaxed and loose and.
I wonder what is that about? Is it just conserving energy or directing your focus elsewhere? Like, what is it?
I don't know, because when we used to do sessions down at the track, we'd watch all the sprinters and they're all the same. I'm like, man, they look so cool.
Yeah.
They're so calm and collected. Yeah, I can't relate to that though.
And I wonder how much of that is by design or like powerlifting, where you watch somebody who you like set up the same way and then you just, without thinking about it, start doing what they do.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, so I do that in jiu-jitsu. There's this guy that I love and he like nose breathes the whole time. And it looks so cool. So I've started doing it. But I wasn't I didn't even intentionally start doing it.
No, it just happens.
Yeah,
Hey.
and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I trying to look so slick when I'm dying?
Yeah. So interesting.
And then what else have I got here? Setting realistic goals, managing your expectations.
Same as any sporting pursuit.
Because you're going to find with running, just like lifting, you get really good at it really quickly.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, like... yeah, so I'll use Mitch Risman for an example. I remember I told him, I was like, bro, if you run like this, you're going to be able to do 10Ks in like 6 weeks. And he was like, fuck off. Because he hadn't run at all. Yeah. And then he was doing 10Ks easy.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like, shit. And then his next goal was, I want to do this. And I was like, it's kind of like, so the last race I did was the GC25 and I ran like 440 per kilometer, which is, it was pretty good for me. And then it's like the equivalent. And then my next race, I wanted to do like a sub 90-minute half marathon, which essentially it's only like a 10-second. Wait, what's that? It would be like a 15-second, 25-second difference per kilometer. which I think I left something in the tank for that race. I raced really well, so I peaked perfectly. You know, like a good competition. Like, oh shit, I had more in the tank. Yeah, so it was like that. So it's not that unrealistic, but it's the equivalent to being like, all right, I scored a 200 at this comp. Next comp, I want to score 250.
Yeah, so very slow down. One step at a time. Let's get to 220 first.
Yeah.
Would I make the same progress if I was running on a treadmill as opposed to out on the road?
Your ankles and knees would feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just because of like the cushioning of the treadmill?
Yeah. So like I know some of the boys, they'll do some of their sessions on a treadmill just to look after their bodies a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like some of them will opt for a treadmill session once a week or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is it harder to breathe on a treadmill because you don't have wind in your face?
Nah.
No?
Nah. Depending what kind of session you're doing.
Yeah.
How, for these people who are powerlifters that want to get into running, how impactful do you think it is on people's training?
That's a good question.
Like, I think it just comes down to the load management thing again.
Sure.
If you're...
Because I feel like sorry to butt in, I feel like if I got into running, it would be a lot more impactful on my training than, say, Meg, just because of how currently unfit, but also how much extra pressure there is on my joints from being big.
Yeah, I think so, but I also think if you started running once a week, I don't think it would affect your training. Like, you lift 4 times a week. 5, yeah. But if you started running once a week, I don't think it would really affect your training. Unless you know, sometimes when you start searching for excuses.
Yeah, sure.
And then you just make it worse because that's all you've thought about and that's all you've blamed it on.
Yeah.
I would be just scared of my hips more than anything. Just the impact on my hips. That's what I'd be worried about. Also, I don't want to run.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't want to either. That's why I don't do it anymore.
Get into cycling before I get into running.
Yeah, you've said that forever.
Yeah, the velodrome.
The only thing is, see, you know how people hate cyclists? I don't hate cyclists. I think cycling's cool. I hate how loud they talk. Bro, shut up. Buy a phone. Talk to each other via your fucking headphones. They ride along and they just scream at each other. And I get it. The bikes are loud. The road is loud. They're like in single file. But I'm just sick of hearing about, like, I'm hearing some woman's leg session at the gym the other day. Some guy talking about his washing machine, bro. Shut up. I don't care. I'm trying to walk my dogs peacefully.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, like, how are you hearing them? Makes sense that, you're walking the dog,
At my old house, I was in an apartment on a main road, like an arterial road in Brisbane. And I couldn't have my window open on like a Saturday or Sunday morning because they all ride at 4 a.m. and they just fucking scream the whole time. Shut up. And there was lights right outside, so they'd stop at the lights and just be screaming at each other. Anyway.
Yeah. But like, obviously if you're a powerlifter and powerlifting is your main thing, you got to always keep the main thing.
Sure.
If you've taken up running to get, a little bit fitter, just for, a little hobby on the side, you got to remember that's the hobby. Like, you got to, if you're peaking, if you got nationals coming up, I don't think it's a great idea to be hitting the road and clocking up some kilometers during that period of time.
I remember you saying as well, back when we first started talking a little bit more about running on the podcast, people who are gravitating towards it as a cardio form rather than trying to be better at running. What were your thoughts on that, and have they changed? Because from memory, I think you were like, maybe you were a little bit more uptight about running or protective about running back then. I sort of remember you saying, don't get into running as your cardio because you're probably not any good at it and not getting the most out of it when you could just go for a walk or something.
Yeah, I still think that runs true.
Yeah.
Like, it's there's far more effective ways to do cardio than running, and running will accumulate a little bit more fatigue than lots of things. Like, you walk every day for an hour.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking the best form of cardio. Where, walking's a very easy skill.
Yeah.
Where running's a little bit more complicated and takes a little bit, takes a few more exposures to actually get good at it, and, before you can actually reap the benefits of it.
And walking's so underrated too.
I feel the same way about swimming. I feel like people try and get into swimming for cardio, but they're not any good at swimming. So they gas themselves out and they have a session that lasts 20 minutes, but they're so inefficient that they don't get any real benefits out of it.
1,000%. That was me.
I can't swim.
Yeah, neither. That's why
I smoked James in a swimming race, by the way, in Bali.
Yeah, that was fucked.
It was great.
I thought after me committing to swimming for a whole year, twice a week, I was still going to at least beat her. Got pumped.
Got pumped.
So good.
I blame it on the cigarettes in Bali.
Probably that'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Thanks for all that info, man.
Yeah, that was really
great.
cool.
Yeah, I
It's
hope
really
that was,
insightful.
yeah, I hope that's
it
helpful.
was.
What was the last thing? Questions or hot takes?
Oh, yeah. Let's bring them up.
Do you follow Paddy Belinsky when he
Yeah.
does the hot takes?
They're
I like
funny,
when he
eh?
does that.
Do they make you angry? They make me angry, like in a funny way.
I submit a lot of them. I've submitted one every time, I think.
Because some of them are like so good. Oh, here's a hot take. I got one right here from someone. How come you can't see them when you like swipe up?
Is the story box gone?
Nah, it's still there. But see, it's only coming up in the notifications. See,
What about in the inbox?
Yeah, I got them.
oh,
I got them here.
yeah, mine doesn't come up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Hybrid training is greater than one-dimensional training.
Why?
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Yeah, me too.
I disagree with that.
Like, if you want to be the best at something, you have to go all in.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with wanting to be
Just
the
depends
best.
on what your goals are, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's telling Lily Riley, oh, you should fucking hybrid train.
Yeah.
Cooper says, Kenna, yogurt is disgusting. Cooper says, cereal is disgusting. And then he says, for training, intensity over volume. I agree with intensity over volume. Big believer in quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Hyperfrequency is the death of progress for most people eventually. I don't know about yogurt is disgusting. That's a bit rough, Kenna. Depends what yogurt you... Like, if you're having the no-fat Chobani yogurt, yeah, of course it's disgusting. You have real yogurt, it's good.
This will probably be the only argument they've ever had in their lives together as well, eh?
And what kind of call is it? Cereal is disgusting.
Like, have you had Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Have you had Cocoa Pops? Have you? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Cereal is disgusting.
So, I reckon a lot of people do cereal wrong.
Okay.
Well, tell me how you have your cereal. Talk me through the preparation.
I pour it into a bowl and then pour milk over it,
And then,
What?
and then I eat.
Is that how you do it?
How do you do it?
No, I'm just talking shit.
Do you do milk first?
No, hell no.
Because I know of people
I
that
don't
do
know.
that.
I reckon milk first is good because it keeps it crunchy. It floats on top. You want crunchy cereal. You don't want
Yeah.
it to go soggy.
So for that reason, I go natty cereal.
Yeah?
I go
No milk at all.
Sans milk.
Wow.
Yeah.
I only put a little bit of milk in.
Well, I used
Really?
to try.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you used to be a big Nutri-Grain and yogurt guy.
Yeah, I do cereal and yogurt at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you gone back to that?
Yeah, so I go yogurt with protein and then cereal.
So I used to try to copy you.
Yeah.
That was
Wasn't
not
it?
it. Nah, because it needs to get a little soggy.
Oh, see, I need the crunch.
Yeah. No, I like the crunch at the start,
Yeah.
but then when it gets soggy, it's good.
No.
Yeah, like Cocoa Pops, it is nice when they soften out a bit. But with Weet-Bix, I like it. Like, I don't mush it up.
Yeah,
I actually still like
me
it
too.
quite.
In biscuit form.
So when I have like Weet-Bix, if I'm going to have a few, I actually only eat 2 at a time because
Do you eat your Weet-Bix cold? I only eat mine hot.
how do you have it hot?
You
You
pour
heat the
Microwave.
milk up.
no,
Oh,
you
really?
Yeah.
go hot water.
Hot water.
And then
no,
milk.
you go milk.
Water. This is like,
You guys, are you?
Oh, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
I feel
bet-
like you're
I bet
pulling
you're
my
the
leg.
kind of guy that's like, hey, do you want some juice? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, how much water? Half or no water? I want a juice. Why the hell are you watering it down?
Squeeze into the cup. And
I've
that's it.
never done that in my life.
Oh, people who water down juice, like
That's nasty.
Who waters down juice?
so many people.
Yes.
Go away.
Yeah.
All right, just on that real quickly.
So wait, one more thing. If I were to put milk in cereal, like Cocoa Pops, I would go cereal, milk, and then immediately drink all the milk, and then just
Yeah?
No, you
Eat
just
what's
need a
left.
tiny bit of
What?
milk at the bottom, and then it stays crunchy.
Because
the
the
whole
milk
time.
goes chocolatey, and that's the best part to drink at the end.
You know, that was an invention that I thought of when I was a kid. I'm like, cereal flavored milk is like so delicious when you drink it at the end. You should put it in a popper, but now they've done that already.
yeah, and
They've
a lot
done
of
that.
like cereal milk flavored
Yeah,
things.
yeah. That was going to be my $1 million idea when I was a kid. And detachable heels on shoes, on high heel shoes, because when you're out and about and then your feet get sore, you just take the heel off. I think someone's done that too.
But then the end just the end just points up real high.
I didn't think that far.
Sorry, what were you going to say, James?
I was going to say, just on that, real quickly before we get to the rest of them, top 3 favorite cereals.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Fruit Loops.
Yuck.
I love
Don't
Fruit
be
Loops.
mean. Yeah.
Fruit Loops are delicious, and there's so much nostalgia around Fruit
like,
Loops.
Tom, bro, I think you're the same as me. I love sugar, but it's got to be flavored like something. It can't just be sugar-flavored sugar. And that's what Fruit Loops are.
Nah, Fruit Loops are so good.
Don't you reckon?
Yeah, I like Crunchy Nut.
Mm.
Crunchy Nut's good.
Yeah.
Yes, so good.
I love Just Right. I love Just Right.
No.
It's like
Which
if you were
one's-
talking like
That's the
healthier
one-
cereals.
We ain't talking healthy cereals.
Yeah, but I still like it. It's got like dried apricots in it, which are really yummy.
I don't know if the commercials are the same in Australia, but James, do you remember how wholesome the Just Right commercials were in New
Yes.
Zealand?
Yeah.
It was so wholesome.
That's what I mean.
It's like a woman that's left home and like calling her dad to catch up. And he's like, "Are you taking care of yourself?" He's like, It's like, not
That's
too
me.
heavy, not too light, just right.
Just right.
Look, I know this is not an exciting one, but I actually kind of like Sultana brand. Even
I love Sultana
That
brand.
goes in the same
And
category.
I hate Sultanas.
Wheat Bix Bites are good too.
They're good.
They're yummy.
That I do like. I do like
Mm.
Wheat Bix Bites. I like Chex. You know those like
Yes.
those really nice.
And what are they called? Mini Wheats. You remember Mini Wheats? I don't know if they're still a thing anymore.
Mini wheats. I think I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. They're
it's
like
wheat,
the little
but-
little
Yeah, like
parcels.
yeah, and they had different fruit
Oh,
flavors
yes.
in it.
Well,
Yes,
the ones with
yes,
chocolate
yes.
in them were
I've never
great.
tried that
Yeah,
one.
ones with fruit. Yuck.
Yum.
That's
Yeah.
all she said.
Go eat a fruit hot cross bun. Disgusting.
Oh my
nasty.
gosh.
Yuck.
All right.
Cocoa Pops. Goat.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
I don't know. They're just a bit boring.
All right.
Chocolate rice.
Rice bubbles.
Okay, no. You did not just call Cocoa Pops boring, and then you're like, I like rice bubbles, which is like bland.
That's
Cocoa
vanilla.
Pops. It's not even vanilla. It's bland.
Yeah.
There's no flavor to rice bubbles, but Cocoa Pops is boring. Wow.
Maybe, I don't know. I ate a lot of Cocoa Pops as a kid, so I might just be sick of it.
All right. Joshy D says, hot take, nobody actually pushes their accessories hard enough.
It's a good take.
I feel for powerlifters, a lot of powerlifters, that's very true. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people spend 2 hours doing 3 sets of squats and then
And then superset all their accessories in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
CJ, you push your accessories very hard.
I feel like a lot of people in here
I've
do.
started to, just from watching,
Thomas.
watching Thomas. Watching, like, honestly, guys like Declan, Eli, like those jacked guys, and I see how hard they push theirs. Meg is another one that pushes accessories
Yeah.
hard, and I'm like,
she's an animal.
yeah, I don't train hard enough. Like, whenever I watch them train, I'm like, yeah, I don't train hard enough. So that's thanks to you guys.
Meg trains very hard.
Yeah, she trains very
Just very long.
Oh, for a long time.
Yes. I don't know if I can read out Patty's one.
Go
Skip-
on.
No, we'll skip that one. Andrew Olm says, do you need to be bald, bearded, and jacked to be a spotted loader?
Yes.
And why is the answer yes?
This is true. It's not a hot take. That's just,
Yeah, that's a fact. And it's
Yeah.
always been a fact.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll need a clean shave my head for nationals, eh?
Yo.
I don't know what this one just says Voltaren 25 in recovery. I don't know what that means.
Hot take. Oh, I feel it. The amount of times I've taken 25 milligrams of Voltaren.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm for it, but I just don't get how it's a hot take. And Robbie Masson over in Scotland, he says, people promoting themselves as a game day coach is the biggest scam in powerlifting right now. Do people do that?
I don't know anyone that
What
does
is
that.
a game day
Yeah.
coach? Someone that
What does
just
he
it's
mean?
just a handler, just on the day.
Sounds like a mate.
Well,
A hype man.
it's funny. Like IPF tried to do this, or like the IPF federations over the years that really segregated from other federations used to do this thing where like you go to Worlds and there's the dedicated team coach. It's like the team handler there to kind of look after you. It just doesn't work in powerlifting because you don't train as a team. You don't have any
That's-
interaction
yeah.
as a team. So they call it a team, but it's not a team. It's a group of people from the same country showing up to the same comp. Like it's not the same as a basketball team that has a coach that's gone over the game day plan a million times and has practiced and has developed a skill. It's just a random person on the day helping out.
And that's what I mean. Do they have any like information about what your training was like leading up to the comp?
Yeah,
or,
exactly,
Because that's
yeah.
important.
I mean, they try and do that. Or
Yeah.
I imagine a good coach would try and do that, try and
Yeah.
get that information and have conversations and all that sort of stuff. I couldn't think of anything worse. Like, I don't even like having close people around me do too much on my comp day. I wouldn't want some stranger in my face being like, hey, come on, man, you got this. Like, there's very few people who I actually want in my ear giving me encouragement. I don't mind it like yelling across the gym. That's cool. But, you know, like when someone's backspotting you and they yell, it's like, just shut up. Just let me lift. It's all good.
I've known you. I like to think I know you better than most people. And even on your comp, I leave you alone on comp day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm one of those people that probably could annoy you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
nah, see, like people like you, Daniel, people who have been with me at comps, I like having you around. And I like being able to be like, oh, bro, can you just check on this for me real quick? I do like having a person dedicated to help out. But I'll perform better if I rely on myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole idea of a game day coach, hire me for your game day coach. If they're charging money for that, I think that's gross.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Real gross.
Yeah,
pay me and I'll look after you on the day. What? That's real nasty. All right. We're good? That was all of them.
Sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the ZeroW Podcast. If you want more information, head to our Instagram, @zero_weakness. Hit the link in the bio for all of our services and any information on upcoming workshops and events. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review so we can have a broader reach and answer more people's questions. Thank you once more.